Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Anaton, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. We're going to be continuing on with spoiler season for the new upcoming set for Legends of Runeterra. The name is Awakening. Not going to be too long of a video today. We don't have that many new cards. I believe we only have, I think, 4 new cards. We do have a new mechanic though, not a new keyword, a new word, but not a new keyword. So won't be generated by like Victor or anything. But a pretty cool mechanic, kind of already exists in the game to an extent. But they're expanding upon it, which is pretty cool. It seems like we're also gonna pretty much confirms Master Yi is in the game because these followers, these cards seem to be very related to Master Yi. So we'll talk about the new keyword, the new mechanic. And we'll talk about the cards themselves. So, this new mechanic is called Flow. As you can see as well in the artwork too here that Riot has given us. Probably going to get Master Yi. But this is from the official Legends of Runeterra Twitter account, so you can pretty much take this as fact what Flow is going to do. Flow basically says a card triggers its Flow ability if you play 2+ spells or skills last round. So it's pretty much like the Eye of the Dragon Deep Meditation style card, except it also counts skills as well as spells. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know how much that is gonna matter for the skills thing, because Ionia Ionia doesn't really have that many things with skills when you think about it. But maybe there will be something like some kind of Noxus stuff, like, you know, Bilgewater stuff, you know, Misfortune and stuff, Annie, etc., etc. So there are some skills in other regions. Shadow Isles has things like Doom Beast, that's the card I'm thinking of. But Ionia, I don't even know if Ionia even has one unit with a skill. They probably do. They definitely do. They have like Yone. There's Yone, Wind Singer, Mina. So there's a couple. There's some, but there's not that many that are heavily played. So that is basically what Flow is. Flow seems to be a pretty cool mechanic. I mean, I like Eye of the Dragon. I like Deep Meditation, so I'll probably like Flow. So let's actually look at the new cards. We only have, like I said, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 new cards, but some of these cards are creating new cards, so we have something to talk about. So we'll start with the first one, Soul Sword. We already pretty much saw it when we were talking about Flow, but let's actually talk about this card now. Soul Sword is another equipment, so +3/+2 to a unit of yours. Flow, if Flow is active, it costs 2 less. So at 4 mana, this card sucks. 4 mana for just +3/+2 is mediocre. At 2 mana for +3/+2 to a unit, I start to like the card, but you have to activate Flow. If you're not activating Flow, I'm not a big fan of this. I kind of like this on Eye of the Dragon. It's kind of nice with Eye of the Dragon. You know, you play it on Eye of the Dragon. You now have, what, a 4 or 5 Eye of the Dragon? I assume with these decks that will be playing floating units are going to be playing Eye of the Dragon. If you're trying to activate Flow, you're activating Eye of the Dragon, so you might as well. Eye of the Dragon's a solid card. Again, it's really good against aggro and decent against mid-range and even decent against control. So, I don't know. Equipment on Eye of the Dragon seems solid. Like, Eye of the Dragon very rarely goes into combat anyway, so just Soul Sword and equipment in general just make your Eye of the Dragon that much tankier against actual removal. So I'm not that big of a fan of this card. If you can generate it somehow through like a manifest or another card that just gives you this card, like maybe Master Yi will give you this card, I like it a lot. But as for putting it in your deck, maybe as a one of, maybe if Master Yi cares about equipment as well, maybe you'll play it. Seems like Master Yi is going to care about spells though, which is pretty nice. I like champs that care about spells. I like Lee Sin. I like Lux, Jace, Karma. I like those cards. Next up, Disciple of Doran. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure this is a Yordle. Kind of wondering why no Yordle tag then. I assume I'm going to assume they didn't forget if this is a Yordle. I mean, those are very much Yordle ears, and this is the Disciple is really short. So I'm going to just assume this is a Yordle that didn't get the Yordle tag for balance reasons. But Disciple of Doran is a 2-mana 2/2. When it's summoned, create a Preparation in hand. What does Preparation do? Preparation is a 1-mana focus speed spell that says reduce the cost of a spell in your hand by 1. So you play this basically just to get more spells to activate flow and keep flow flowing, I guess is the way to say it. Outside of that, I'm not that big of a fan. I've seen some people saying like, oh, you can use it to cheat out spells quicker. It's only a 1-mana discount. It's not that great. And you're spending 1 mana for a 1-mana discount. So unless you were gonna burn mana, it's not really that much of a discount, but I get it. It's like 9 mana Glorious Evolution and stuff. Like, sure, whatever. That's cute, but come on. First off, Glorious Evolution is bad. Honestly, even if Glorious Evolution was 9 mana by itself already in the game, it probably still wouldn't be played. Maybe a Shellfolk deck would play Glorious, like PNZ Bilgewater Shellfolk, but I don't know. I think you're gonna just play this because you just want a 2-drop. It gives you a spell to keep activating flow, but I feel like you're gonna just have 2-drops already. Like, there's a lot of solid 2-drops in the game already, so how much do you care about the spell the Disciple's generating? If it was a 3/2 or a 2/3, I'd like it much more. Like, 2/3, it trades with 1-drops and lives. 3/2, it can at least block fearsomes. 2/2's not that great as a stat line. It kind of sucks, in all honesty. 2/2 for 2 sucks. 2/2 for 1 is fine. But yeah, like, I assume you're just gonna play this because you care about the extra spell, and it helps smooth out your curve. It helps you keep hitting flow every single turn. The problem is, how much do you want to hit flow every single turn? We don't know yet because, well, we've only seen 1 flow card. I assume Master Yi and some other cards we'll see later on with Master Yi will care more about flow, so maybe we'll play Triple Disciple to keep hitting flow. Next up, the Stein Disciple. I like this card. 1 mana, 1/1 elusive, Nexus Strike, recall me and transform me into Shimon Wind. What does Shimon Wind do? Well, Shimon Wind is a 2 mana burst speed spell. Summon of a Stein Disciple and draw 1. So basically, the Disciple attacks, gets bounced back to your hand. Well, bounced back to your hand and transforms into this card, and then you can use this card to basically resummon it and cycle. So it's kind of like a weird combination of the Flight and the Mourned. I kind of like this card though. I'm a fan of this card. Like, sure, it dies to a ping, but it is a 1-drop. 1 mana drops, 1-drops dying to pings while it sucks isn't that bad. Just take a look at Zoe. And speaking of Zoe, I like to compare this card to Zoe. Sure, Zoe's better, but of course she'd be better. She's a champion. I'd assume the champion would be better than the follower. But for 1 mana, you're getting a 1/1 with elusive. That's pretty much Zoe. You Nexus Strike, you basically get some cards. You get some card advantage, card draw, whatever you want to call it. That's what Super Cool Star Chart is, kind of. So it helps you keep flow going because it gives you a spell, and it helps you get more cards from your deck because of the card draw. And then you could even summon this at burst speed so you can get a chump blocker if you really need it right away, or you can develop the board more by playing Shimon Wind to get another 1/1 before you open attack. So I like this card. Kind of cute with Lee Sin too. I kind of really like that this kind of lets you play quote unquote Zoe without having to play Zoe in your Lee Sin deck. So you could play like Lee Action and play Stein Disciples just to, you know, have a Zoe. Like, you like Zoe because she helps you generate more spells. Stein Disciple kind of does that. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, it helps keep flow going. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this card. I think it'll be pretty solid. Just helps you get on the board early, helps you get some spells too to start flowing. So I like the card. Big fan of it. And our last card for today, June the Prodigy. 3 mana, 4/3. First time I am equipped, give me Barrier and Lifesteal this round. I mean, so this card I kind of am having a tough time evaluating. So she wants equipment, so you got to be playing equipment, obviously. You play the equipment on her, and she'll get Barrier and Lifesteal. So and it's a hard to evaluate card. So the equipment's gonna stay on her. But if this wasn't an Ionia, I'd like this. But Ionia has lifesteal already. Between Eye of the Dragon and Tasty Fey Folk. I mean, I guess you play this over Tasty Fey Folk if you are playing equipment. It doesn't die to avalanches and mystic shots. I guess the other argument is it only gets lifesteal for the turn, so kind of like a Solari Sunforger situation. And then you also have to spend mana to get the lifesteal too, like whatever equipment you're going to use. So it's you got to spend more than 3 mana to get the lifesteal. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this. I guess maybe if you can recall it to replay it and re-equip it to get lifesteal again, that's kind of cute. But I feel like you only would do that against more aggressive decks, you know, like Ionia Tellstones, grab Homecoming, Misfortune in June or something. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this card because I also feel like I just would rather play Eye of the Dragon. That's the thing. I think Eye is so much better. Maybe if you really, really want a 3-drop and you're playing equipment like this, it's asking a lot from you. It wants you to care about lifesteal when you could play Eye of the Dragon, and it wants you to play equipment. If Master Yi cares about playing equipment, sure. Like, it does have, like, June has a solid body. Like, 4-3 does trade well. Barrier is nice and hard to block. Lifesteal is a big swing in a lot of matchups that are not control matchups. And she's still going to have the stats from the equipment she was equipped with. It's just I'm worried about, like, these kind of cards I always worry about when trying to use them against aggro. You know, you play Solari Sunforger or some lifesteal unit, and then your opponent plays, they block, and then they Noxian Fervor to remove the blocker, so they still ghost block, but your unit did no damage, so you don't get any of the life. And then the lifesteal falls off from your Sunforger because it only gets lifesteal for the turn. Kind of like June does. So, yeah, I don't know how to evaluate this card. It seems fine. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not too excited about any of these Master Yi cards. They just don't feel, none of them really feel like OP powerful. Like, they feel like solid cards. Like, the Stein Disciple is probably, in my opinion, the strongest out of these cards. Disciple of Doran is fine as 2-drop filler. June is okay if you want some life gain and you don't want to play Eye of the Dragon, which I feel like you should still play Eye of the Dragon. But yeah, like, June's an okay 3-drop if you're in an Equipment Matters deck. Soul Sword is fine. Like, it's, I feel like Soul Sword is just a filler equipment if you really just need more equipment. I'm not a big fan of it. But again, I might be underestimating flow and equipment in general. It's kind of hard to judge these new mechanics, so that's pretty much it, though. Like I said, not going to be too long of a video because we don't have too many cards here, but while I'm not too impressed by these cards, I am a little excited by them because I like Ionia, and these are doing Ionia things. Spells matter stuff, a lifesteal thing, barrier thing with June as well, so maybe June will be played in Shen? Like, June Master Yi equipment? I could see Shen caring about equipment, actually, because barrier with equipment seems pretty solid. But yeah, I like this. I like all of this flow stuff. All these spells, too, are also helping out Lee Sin. Lee Sin kind of does need the help, too, after the Zenith Blade nerf. After the Zenith Blade nerf, Lee Sin kind of just died. People tried Lee Sin action. Lee Sin action just didn't feel good enough. So yeah, I like this. Maybe Master Yi Lee Sin can be a thing. And maybe Master Yi will be a good alternate win con for the Lee Sin decks. Anyway, though, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear what you guys think about flow, though. I personally like flow, but that's because I like Eye of the Dragon, and I like Deep Meditation, and I like casting spells, and I feel like there's a little bit of, like, skill testing with Eye of the Dragon and Deep Meditation, where it's like you don't want to cast too many spells, so you don't have any spells for the later turns. And I can see flow being very, very similar to that. And it is nice that it also works on skills as well as spells. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about the other cards as well. What do you think about the Disciples? What do you think about the Soul Sword? Do you think it's just not good enough to plain What do you think, like, maybe Master Yi's gonna do? I'd love to hear your opinion. And if you guys just enjoyed the video in general, I'd love if you could leave a like or a comment down below. Always helps me and the channel out. And if you guys want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. And if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Senatin, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all again once more for watching this video, and until I see you guys in the next one, bye.